Hi guys, this is just a quick tutorial on how to get your own networking group off the ground. So we have something that we call BizzNet. It is registered, so you are more than welcome to use it. You can put an acronym to it, for example, BizzNet Boxburg or BizzNet Bloemfontein. And this is an event that you can host. In other words, I'm going to give you all the tips and tools on how to get this started. And you are definitely more than welcome to invite me to your event, be it the first one or one of them, for me to just come and sit and have a look at how it's going or to give it some momentum. So, why would we network? Networking is one of the best ways for professional people to reach potential clients without having to do cold calling or hot selling. That's right. We don't like to do cold calling or hot selling. Most of us aren't ingrained to do that. So, this is that one way that you can avoid doing cold calling or hot selling. One of the things that I just want to emphasize here, and this is where networking really comes into play as well. Marketing is something that you've got to do consistently. You can't market a lot and then not market. Otherwise, your effect is going to be very minimal. So I find oftentimes people do this huge campaign where they do a lot of marketing for a day or three, and then they imagine that they're going to be getting clients from that. Marketing is very much like exercise and dieting. If you want real results, you've got to do a little bit every single day. Don't skip a day. Just make a time in the morning where you do some form of marketing. And then you'll find in a month or two or three, those effects will start having a trickle effect in terms of clients, new clients approaching you. You'll suddenly find that once a week or twice a week, you get a call or an email or an SMS from someone saying, hey, can you assist me with whatever? Tax, new PTY registration, sorting out my VAT, or whatever the case might be. You will only get that kind of trickle effect if you are consistently marketing every day. So, BizzNet or networking for that matter is something that you should be doing on a weekly or monthly basis. So, we're currently in a lockdown period, but there's a lot of networking happening online. So, there's no reason why you cannot network and even start a BizzNet, because you can be three or four people having coffee together and talking about how to grow your business. So you're welcome to join an existing networking group in your area. There are business chambers in most big towns and cities, as well as BNI chapters all across the world. So BNI stands for Business Networking International. If you want to go Google, you're more than welcome to see if there's a chapter in your area. BNI, if you can, is the best thing that you can do for your business as a startup for many reasons. All the other things that you will learn from BNI, just being in a group where there's other business owners. But because of that trickle effect with clients, you will find that within 6 months to a year, you'll be getting at least 10 to 15 clients out of BNI. So why our own networking events? Well, by grouping your own group of people together will yield great results for relationship building and trust. A great booster for relationship building and trust. It won't take you months to kind of build that relationship and trust. It can happen within 6 or 8 weeks if you are going to be networking on your own regularly with your own group. You do the communication because you are the person hosting the event. Thus, you end up getting to that seventh touch point a lot faster because you are inviting them to the event, you are checking that they're going to come, you even inviting them to assist you with finding a venue, and you're talking about the logistics. So before you know it, you and this person have reached that seventh touch point, which is, of course, very important when we talk about marketing and new clients, because 80% of people only buy after the seventh touch point. Critical rule to remember when you're marketing, any kind of marketing. If a new client approaches you and you send them an email, or you phone them and you send them an email, that is 2 touch points. It's not adequate. You need to bump it up to at least 7 touch points. So you will chair the meeting, giving you great experience at running meetings of 15 to 25 people on a weekly basis. So ideally, why do we say weekly? Because the more often you meet, the greater the marketing results will be. So you can do it bi-weekly as well. And then, of course, you will build great credibility while chairing these meetings. And that is what is so critical for us as accountants, of course, is credibility. So before you get going, this is the beginning, the very first step that you need to do in order to get this networking event off the ground is to get a core team together. So, what is a core team? It is 2 or 3 people that can assist you to get the event off the ground. Remember, BizzNet is your event. You are chairing it, but you can definitely get people that you can put in your core team, and ultimately they can be in your leadership team. So get 2 or 3 friends that are in business that are also eager to grow their businesses, and get together for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks and just meet on a weekly basis on the day that you would normally meet and talk about how you're going to help each other. What are the plans that you want for this networking group? You'll be amazed at the insight of other people and the input that they bring to making this event a lot of fun and a success. It needs to be people in business, of course. They need to know you at least relatively well, and they need to be available to attend most of the weeks. So you can't have someone in your core team that's not going to be attending. So when we talk about the pre-launch, that is just exactly this. That is where you meet at the exact time that you would host your event. But you are a small group of people and you are getting some kind of rhythm going. You're getting some kind of rapport before you want to start inviting outside people into this event. You just want to get some momentum and some rapport and put some ground rules in place. What are the things that we want from this meeting? What are the kind of rules that we need to have in place? I'm going to be giving you guys an agenda for the more formal meeting. But when you think about rules, typically it should be something like each of us should at least come to the meeting with one referral, or we should at least give a referral every second week when we come, or we are going to penalize people that miss 4 meetings. Whatever the rules that you want to make, you can really make it loose or very strict. But this is the time, this pre-launch time is the time for you and that those 3 people or 4 people to decide how you want to host this event. What are the things that are important to you? Do you want to have each of you have a speaking engagement? How long do you want, do you want everybody in the group when you've launched to have 30 seconds or 1 minute? So just logistics around it. Do you want the guys to come in the morning and just have a coffee, make it a 30 or 40-minute meeting, or should it be a little bit longer in the afternoon? What not? So these are all the things that you want to sort of iron out before you start inviting a whole lot of other people into your group. So finding members to join your event. So now you've met 3 or 4 times your core team, and now you have laid your ground rules. You kind of know where you're at with this meeting that you want to host. What are the output that you expect? Now you can start looking for other outside members to join your event. And this is really fun because this is where you start to meet strangers coming to your event. So the next step is to find members to join your networking event. The best way to start is to look at different business types and industry types and think of people you might know. And this makes it very easy for you to find people that you can invite. So below is a typical list of businesses that you might want to approach. So graphic designer, printer copier, marketing consultant, photographer. Now, as you can see, as I'm talking even about these industry types, you can maybe think of someone that you know that's maybe a graphic designer or a social media marketer or an IT software person or an estate agent. So, the whole point of putting this list out there is you are going to sit with your core team now and you guys are going to brainstorm and say, okay, guys, does any of us know a graphic designer? Then one person might say, yes, I do. And then you say, okay, can you invite them to our next meeting? Does any of us know a plumber? Does any of us know do any of us know a commercial lawyer? Yes, I know one. So I'm going to invite them to our next meeting. And this is how you casually and slowly grow. And you'll be going through this exercise for the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. As people come in, you ask them, can you invite somebody next week? Do you perhaps know a graphic designer if there's a new person in your group that you can bring to our event the next time? So also approach your current clients and friends and people in your network and ask them if they'd like to attend your networking event. Do not hard sell this event. Just ask people if you can invite them. If they cannot attend this week, then invite them to the next one. Do not say anything else, just invite them for one event for coffee. What I used to do often when I met somebody and I wanted them to become my clients, I would pay for their coffee or breakfast. And I would say, hey, come to my event next Friday. I'll stick you for breakfast. It's a great marketing tool and it might cost you 80 Rand. Because now you get the chance to sit with this person. They get to see you speak at the event. They get to meet other business owners. So it's really, really a very, very nice way to get to know your new clients or potential clients. So then you start hosting the event. This is just the place or the time that you start to make it a little bit more formal to say, look, we are going to have a meeting agenda going forward. So before that, you might have had a rough agenda, but nothing too formal. Now you're going to formalize it a little bit more, maybe get a projector, make sure that your venue looks good or that you've got a nice place where you're hosting it. Your pre-launch meetings you can even host at your house or at a coffee shop where you're going to decide what kind of venue you would like to host it at. We used to like to do it at hotels. Hotel foyers are great for hosting these types of events. So you're more than welcome to go and look at a couple of hotels and see if they don't, want to accommodate you with a affordable breakfast and coffee. And of course, remember, you don't have to pay for this. You can get every attendee to pay as they come in, the 80 Rand or 100 Rand or how much ever, you get this venue for. So once you have 50 members who have joined, you can appoint a president. And of course, you don't have to make a formal appointment. You can just assume that role as president. Or if you don't really want to do the talking, you are more than welcome to appoint somebody else. I've done networking events. I've hosted a couple that I've started. The first few I wanted to host and I wanted to be the person. And then the last few I started, I actually started being the host, but then I would find somebody to come president for me and I would just do other parts of the talking in the event. So you're more than welcome to decide. You don't have to be the person to do all the talking. You can actually appoint somebody. Okay, so the cost to attend the BizzNet is as follows. This is of course what we used to do is we would get a venue to give us an affordable breakfast, maybe a breakfast and a coffee for 120 Rand, and we would charge 140 and we would get 20 Rand in our kitty so that we can start doing our own kind of marketing. And the easiest way to do this is to get people to pay as they attend. And then, you just get the bill from the venue afterwards and you pay them. Or even alternatively, people can pay the venue directly, but then it will become a little bit more difficult for you to run a kind of a kitty. So steps to take to get people to attend weekly. Invite them to the WhatsApp group. So create a WhatsApp group for your BizzNet. Ensure that you have them on your mailing list. Send out the invite for the following week's event, the following day of the last event. Ask people to confirm attendance on WhatsApp or per email. Phone all confirmations 2 days before the event, and phone all confirmations again the day before the event. Now, again, you'll get to know people who do attend and who don't. So you don't always have to phone. You might just find later on during the course of a couple of weeks or so, you will only phone the new people who are attending to make sure that they're going to be attending your event. So there you can see a typical agenda. So I normally give a bit of an open networking time, for example, from 7 to 7:30. Then I will have a official opening. Now this is a 2-hour event if you take into consideration the hour, the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes afterwards. With an hour in between, but you can really shorten that. You can make it a 30-minute event with a 15 minutes before and a 50 minutes after, and then it's only an hour, and it really isn't too much out of people's days. So you'll see just an opening and a welcome, introduce your leadership team, present a speaker, and this is where you can get one of the people in the group to just talk about what they do and give some pointers in their field. Get everybody to introduce themselves for 30 seconds or 60 or however long. And then you yourself can do a nice quick educational on tax and finance. And then you end with a quote. So it's really, really nice and simple, nothing too complicated. And of course, you can play around with the agenda and add things and take things away. So just some homework if you're interested in doing this. Decide on a day that you'd like to host your event, appoint a core team, find a venue where you can host your event for the pre-meetings, list the professions, see how many of those professions can you add, names of people that you know in your network so that you can invite them, make contact with those people. You can even invite them for coffee or just say, hey, come visit me next week at the Blue Diamond Hotel for a nice breakfast. And then make contact with any other people in your network that you can invite. And remember, you will host the pre-meetings until you have about 20 regular networkers for about 2 months, depending on. So you can look at 4 to 6 weeks for your pre-launch meetings, and then you can start having a bit more of a formal networking event. So happy networking, everybody, and I hope you found this helpful.